Our project is on Match 22. The book is about a boy who collects matches and...
No.
Get Tyrannosaurus wrecked!
Yossarian is this crazy pilot who actually happens to be the captain in the Air Force. And he's sick and tired of all these missions that he has to keep on flying, and he's just tired of the war, and he just wants to go home. And in fact, he even starts lying about his liver disease, so he can't have an excuse to go home.
This book takes place during the second half of World War II on the island of Pianosa near the Italian coast off the Mediterranean Sea.
So, how we get here is that Germany invaded Poland in 1939, and that this pulled Europe into war. And then at around 1942, Japan invades Pearl Harbor, which pulls America into the war. And this is how we get to the United States occupying an island off the coast of Italy because they needed it for bombing runs on Italian cities to push the Axis powers back.
Yossarian and his friends are getting closer to the end of their service because they're almost there to completing their missions. But every single time they come close to finishing, their lieutenant comes on and he will assign more missions to them and extend their term of staying there in the service, which then in turn leads them all to go crazy and wish and yearn to go home.
So are we just going to ignore the fact that Sarah just slapped Colton?
Yes, Zach, move on.
Okay, can you guys explain to me what a catch-22 is exactly?
Yeah, well, a catch-22 is a dilemma or a difficult circumstance for which there is no escape because of mutually conflicting or dependent conditions.
Can I get an example?
Kind of like if you're insane, like if you feel like you're insane and you go tell somebody I'm insane, therefore you're not totally insane, you're sane enough to recognize that you are insane. But you're not totally sane, but you're not totally insane at the same time.
Oh, okay, so that's kind of connects to my theme, how the common man doesn't control his own destiny. Like, Yossarian wants to claim that he's insane, but the fact that he can claim that means that he is sane, so he doesn't control the fact that he can be kicked out of the military because of his insanity. Or like how whenever he flies missions and he thinks he's done with his mission numbers, they keep increasing them. So it's kind of like how he can't control that.
So are you saying the common man has no free will?
Well, sort of. The common man can't choose, like, make choices like when they're done because the higher-ups keep choosing that for them, like when the mission number changes, or even small things like how they place their troops, how the troops sleep. The two generals argue over how it should be. The fact that the two generals are arguing over that shows that it's not in the hands of anyone but the higher-ups, so they don't really get a choice in the matter.
So that's kind of like the thing that I found, that following authority isn't always the best thing, because I mean, like you were saying, like the authority always is so controlling, and then Yossarian, when he's trying to leave the war because he just wants to leave the war, he's not happy, but because the missions keep on increasing, he can't leave, and so he can't be truly happy until he leaves the army and he goes home. So he's not following authority.
So are you saying that we should not follow the authority then?
I'm saying that you shouldn't follow the authority when it's being overly controlling, like what Zach was saying, or that it makes you so that you're not happy, and then it just keeps on going on and on and on.
Okay, well, that kind of ties into my theme, which was the power of bureaucracy and how it is way too great. Much like you were saying, Zach, with how no man is in control of his own destiny. How it's always the people who are higher up that are choosing for them. And exactly like you were saying, Sarah, with how authority is always choosing and how maybe we should stop following authority, when it's not the best thing to do. And I believe this all stems from the fact that the bureaucracy in this situation is far too great.
So you're saying the bureaucracy is too powerful?
Yes, I am. Bureaucracy is way too powerful. The bureaucracy is forcing people to do stuff that they normally wouldn't do, such as with the amount of mission time that these men that are involved in this book need to take. They complete their mission time, and they get ready to go home, and the bureaucracy says, nope, psych, sucks to be you. You need to stay here, and you need to serve more mission time. This is completely immoral because these people are no longer able to choose for themselves what they should do.
Yeah, so that kind of reminds me of how I noticed that this book presents the idea that it's okay to disobey orders and even to serve your own interest if you're not happy and the bureaucracy is pushing you down and making it so you can't make your own choices. It's okay to do that justifiably. And any questions?
So does this mean I can do whatever I want because it can benefit me?
Not exactly. You can do whatever you want if, like, you're not happy like Yosari and the pilots are because they can't control their own destiny, or if it becomes, or like something keeps droning on. Mm-hmm. So in that scenario, yes, you could break away and do what you want, but in other cases, you can't because it's doesn't serve any interest, and it's not because you're being pushed down or such.
So kind of like the fact that, like, when, and there's a couple of examples of the book of lying hurting people, like Yosarian lying about his liver disease, and it causes problems for the nurses and doctors because he doesn't really have a liver disease. And then also that guy Major, and how he keeps on signing these documents, Irving, Washington, because he doesn't want the documents coming back to him, and that causes problems later for the chaplain, who ends up getting in trouble for that.
So, but would there be any situations where the truth could hurt also?
Well, it's the examples that I used. The truth doesn't necessarily hurt anybody. It just, well, except for maybe later with the chaplain, and when he finds out who really did it, and also like if the guys had told the truth in this situation, they just would have had to do more work and not be lazy.
And that concludes our presentation on Match 22.
It's not me this time!